Good morning, everybody. This is Rob from the CASA Corner. My apologies for not sending out a vlog last week. An incredibly busy 2 weeks. We had the Calo conference. That was very exciting, spending time with Dr. David Grand, who is really the creator of Brain Spotting, Dr. Julie Lopez, and a few other people. That good crowd of people to come and experience a conference at one of our biggest facilities for Embark Behavioral Health. Last week, we had 3 days of training, which we call the DOSE training. DOSE is an acronym that stands for Development, Outcomes, Systemic, and Experiential. These 4 different main concepts root all of our programs that are under the Embark Behavioral Health. We are going to focus on DOSE, Development, Outcomes, Systemic, and Experiential. We did a training with what we call the DOSE Master Trainers, so they can take it back to their teams, and each one of their teams will actually receive a certificate, just like this one here. This happens to be mine, but yeah, great opportunity to actually get certified, receive some sort of completion and a certificate for becoming DOSE, receiving a DOSE certification, if you will. So again, let's talk a little bit about why this is important. So first of all, we talk about development, the D in DOSE. Development, we see development as an essential part of no matter where you're at throughout the lifespan, be it from conception through old age. Development should never stop. It might slow down at certain points, but it's actually a huge red flag to us if there's stagnation within development, no matter what age you are at. And then looking at development, as important as that is, we need to compare that with outcomes. We no longer want to rely on subjective interpretation or feel-good experiences during the treatment process to validate what we're doing treatment-wise as effective or non-effective. So outcomes are essential, using all kinds of measures to correlate those measures, to do pre and post measurement, but also I take a lot of pride in we're one, if not the only major Embark Behavioral Health with residential treatments and other programs that really integrate that data into the treatment process with the treatment teams. That's pretty exciting for us to do. So we look at development, next we move to outcomes. Thirdly becomes systemic. Like it or not, we're all are part of systems. Systems are defined as integrating those different, being part of an entity that has integrating parts is a system. None of us are freed from being a system. We can look in treatment-wise, we look at the family system and how those roles play out within the family, but also those roles get duplicated and re-solidified oftentimes in treatment. When the client is in the treatment home or a treatment team, there's a subsystem of the larger system. So systems are essential for us understanding how to really create what we're going to call a new base for that equilibrium. So let me throw out a different terms. When we look at family systems are oftentimes like a spinning top. We wrap a rope around them, but if we spin them and they land on the ground and they spin very fast, that system is spinning to maintain some sort of equilibrium, whether it's functional or dysfunctional on some level. Systems look to, it's called homeostasis, maintain that equilibrium. And again, let me repeat, that can be healthy or unhealthy. We can all think about families who maybe there's one person who's got some extreme behavior. Well, like it or not, the system, as that system spins around and one person gets polarized out, naturally what happens is somebody has to repolarize in order to maintain that equilibrium. Now, the tragedy is oftentimes that those people in that system, as it spins, they get further and further polarized. The system itself gets more fragile and it gets spinning and wobbly, and oftentimes when families have gotten to treatment, the family system has toppled over, or it's actually stopped functioning in a way. And so they look to reclaim. Well, our jobs in treatment by having therapeutic relationship is to what? Is to create a new baseline where equilibrium takes place. No longer dysfunctional and us fulfilling roles to compensate for dysregulation, but a tighter in system where they're spinning and the spinning happens and there's a lot of stability. We can all think about family systems that are out here and are very fragile because there's such polarization within the family system. And like it or not, the client, the mom, the parent, the dad, the primary caregiver, we all fulfill roles in order to maintain that functionality, that homeostasis. That's naturally going to occur. So treatment is about what? Bringing that in to have a healthier system where we can be closer, more integrated with one another. There's more honesty and communication. The faster and the tighter that family system is, guess what that breeds? More resiliency. We want to have family systems that are highly resilient. Highly resilient. That's important. Which takes me to my real comment for today's vlog is we looked at development, outcomes, systems, and the last one, the E, is experiential. Experience is necessary in development. If we haven't had safe dyadic experiences with one another, when we're talking with a primary caregiver, guess what? Our cortex, our rational brain, our executive functioning brain is not going to be integrated enough where we can be talked into stuff. We know that that's a disconnection. We can talk about the difference between a sympathetic system versus a parasympathetic system. Experiences are absolutely essential. I'm going to read some main points here to drive it home. Experiencing life facilitates engagement of our entire neurobiology. Think about that for a second. Experiences, safe relational experiences, facilitate what? Our brains and our bodies all working together towards integration. If we experience swimming in the ocean, we know what the feeling, our physiological feeling of being in the water. We know the emotional experience of floating around, perhaps feeling some fear, getting out of the water, and more importantly, that we safely exit the ocean and we have that experience. We've returned to a secure base to share that with. We make cognitive sense out of it. It's an integrated experience that helps each part, the body, the emotional system, and that rational brain, to integrate that experience into one. So when we look at it, safe relationship is essential. Now think about when an experience, a traumatic experience, overwhelms our ability to make sense of it and integrate that, it stays repressed. That's what trauma is. We're not able to experience it in a safe way and integrate it. Now I mentioned this, but healthy development requires that what? We move from that safe relational dependency with a significant other, which facilitates co-regulation. That co-regulation then allows us, our brainstem, our limbic system, our emotional center, and our cortex, all to be integrated to facilitate self-regulation. Self-regulation. Now, those experiences are essential, but I want to talk about, really, this is the main point, and I'm going to use the term experiencing resiliency. Experiencing resiliency. Within resiliency, moving from a positive state of affect through a negative affect back to a positive state of affect requires a sense of self-worth. A sense of self-worth. Okay, now, experiencing those challenges, that negative affect, is essential in life. Oftentimes we can think about clients or individuals who actually, maybe they don't have a secure base of positive affect and all they experience is negative affect and they stay in hypervigilance. Yeah, what are they experiencing? They're experiencing repression and avoidance, not integration. Okay, so experiencing resilience, I want to talk about this. Experiencing resiliency facilitates integration, healing, and awareness. Yeah, isn't that's pretty great to think about. When we experience resiliency based upon this relational ability to consider all the differentiated parts, the body, the emotional system, the rational brain, all of that together allows us to have some self-awareness. Or in that sense, then we can share or use language to share experiences, to create experiences of shared meaning versus just staying in the verbal and the cognitive. Experiences, language can be experiential. Oftentimes we miss a tune though, and we stay in the cognitive words and we miss the experience. We miss the opportunity to experience. One thing to think about is, like I mentioned before, if a child or a young adult or an adult has poor attachment, insecure attachment developmentally, are you ever going to talk them into developing trust or experiencing trust? You're not going to be able to talk them into it. They have to repetitively and reliably experience that. So, a little bit longer vlog today, but I think it's really great information. Again, you can access, you should be accessing this vlog off of embarkbh.com. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Okay, bye-bye.